Good evening. Welcome to the debut of the Biscayne Brewing Marlins on tap, baby. Here we are, joined by Alejandro. There you are. Say hello, Alejandro. We've got Christian Chase, Alex Aguirre, Alana Alfonso, and our very special guest, Megan Nivel. Did I say that last name right, Megan?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. This is going to be an awesome conversation, awesome time tonight. But before we get started, Megan has some words for us by the way, Megan, who represents Biscayne Bay Brewing as well. So go ahead, Megan.
Yeah, so thank you guys for having me. This is Marlins on Tap, and it's brought to you by Biscayne Bay Brewing. And I'm going to plug our brand new Marlins lager that we have ready to go tomorrow for opening day. So I've been promising Twitter we're doing a beer giveaway. So if you follow these steps, you will be entered to win a 6-pack. And of Marlins lager, brand new 12-ounce cans. Nobody's even gotten their hands on these yet. So all you have to do is tag Biscayne Bay Brewing on Twitter and use the hashtag Marlins lager and tell me your favorite Marlins player of all time and why. And then the winner will be chosen Wednesday, April 7th. And in the meantime, you can stop by Lone Depot Park. We're opening our brand new Biscayne Bay Brew Hall in there tomorrow for all Marlins home games. We'll be selling a whole selection of Marlins lager, Pastime Pilsner. We'll have a special edition 19.2-ounce Marlins lager can that you can only get at the game. And yeah, so tag me. And in the meantime, also Marlins lager will be available at Publix, Whole Foods, Total Wine, Fresh Market, Milam's Market, and Mendez Fuel around the Miami area. So, and the disclaimer is for the giveaway, you do have to be in the Miami area and you do have to be over 21.
Oh,
so no chase.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's just not fair.
Soon, Chase, your 21st birthday, let me know.
We'll throw you a party.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bay celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Megan. We appreciate it. I would ask you who your favorite Marlin is, but I mean, I don't know if you have a favorite Marlin.
I'm so excited for Sandy this season. I have high hopes.
All right. We'll go with Sandy. All right, cool.
And yeah, I'll be throughout the show, tweet at Biscayne Bay Brewing. And I'm excited to interact, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so you heard it there, Biscayne Brew. What you have to do is you have to tag the Biscayne Bay Brewing and then use the hashtag Marlins Lager on Twitter, and also put who your favorite Marlin of all time is as well. And we'll be tweeting that after the show and at the end of the show also. So again, thank you all for joining. My favorite player, by the way, Josh Beckett. I just wanted to throw that in there. Josh Beckett, my favorite Marlin of all time. So
we should go around the table.
Yeah, we should. What the hell? Who's your favorite Marlin, Alana?
Oh, easy choice, Mike Will.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alex Fernandez, just because.
No, all around favorite player.
All right.
The way he played, his game, everything about him. Best third baseman. Maybe not best third baseman, but
it's all right. It's good enough. What do you got, Alex?
The way he played the game.
When you say Alex, is me or Alex?
Yeah, who are you referring to?
I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go Alejandro and Alex.
Great.
We'll do that.
Go ahead, Alex.
All right. For me, my favorite Marlin ever is Gary Sheffield. He's one of the greatest power hitters of all time, and he's been on the record saying that if he ever makes it into the Hall of Fame, he wants to go in as a Marlin, which would be the first ever Marlin in the Hall of Fame. So I'm hoping for that.
That's awesome. What do you got, Christian?
Jose Fernandez is definitely my favorite Marlin. I went to see him on my birthday 3 years in a row.
Wow. Rest in peace, Jose Fernandez, the man. Alejandro, who do you got?
So I wasn't a Marlins fan, so I'm gonna go with Alex Gonzalez because he's from Venezuela. He got that important home run in the World Series, so I guess that's gonna be my favorite one. What about you, Jazz?
Josh Beckett, it's funny. He played for both the Red Sox and the Marlins. So, but I'll be honest with you, a close second for me was Gary Sheffield as well, Alex, because I love to see him second best swing in the game. Because my favorite player of all time is Ken Griffey, so I got to go with Ken Griffey there for the best swing ever. But yeah, man, amazing ball players. I mean, they've had some really great players there. Countless guys. You know, you can name Mike Lowe, Kevin Brown. I mean, the list goes on, and of course Miguel Cabrera and so on. So, but anyways, we didn't come to talk about past Marlins, right? We came to talk about future Marlins, right? As they kick it off tomorrow, opening day. I mean, a lot of news going around the league, but primarily let's talk Miami Marlins. You know, the 25-man roster. I think not a lot of surprises there. I think I did mention this off air to some of you guys on the chat about being surprised that Sixto wasn't there initially already on the 25-man roster. What do you guys think? Just overall, how spring training went, and what your outlook is for this club. You guys can start off. Alejandro, go ahead and start off with that.
Yeah, let's start with the Sixto Sanchez. That's a very important subject right there. And we have to remember he wasn't here on time, so that obviously put him a little bit behind the rest of the rotation. And when you look at it, you don't actually need 5 pitchers for the first couple of weeks. So that's why they're taking their time with Sixto Sanchez. They do have Sandy, they do have Pablo, they do have Eliezer having a great spring training. They do have Trevor Rogers there anyway. So I think they have a good rotation. Of course, we want Sixto to be there somewhere in the middle of the rotation, but that's the reason why he's not going to start right away with the team, even though we all know he's one of the most important arms in the Marlins rotation. So just to kick it off, just to make that clear, Sixto Sanchez will be with the team probably in this same month. He's going to be pitching here at Lone Depot Park.
It takes a little time to get used to that.
Yeah. Think about it.
Don't forget the little L and the little P and the lowercase letter F. You cannot forget about that type of stuff. That's important.
And Lone Depot is together. It's not separate either. It's one word. So yeah, that's another one. That's crazy.
I gotta get used to that.
I'm telling you, man. Christian, what do you got for us, man?
First off, I'm really excited for this team. I'll have a piece up on the website tomorrow talking about how this team looks like a competitive ball club, right? We saw in spring training that there is the electric arms are there. We saw how the bullpen is going to be stable, which is something the Marlins have not experienced in many years. And we saw that the bats are actually competitive. 6 out of the 8 of the guys that the Marlins are going to field on opening day are statistically above league average hitters, excluding Jazz Chisholm and Jorge Alfaro. And then their 9th guy is Garrett Cooper, who is statistically their 2nd best hitter, which makes no sense. But it's a good problem to have. I'm very excited. And I think starting Sixto in the minors is a good choice with him on an innings limit throughout the season. If the Marlins want to compete later on in the season, it seems to be the right choice to have him later on rather than in the beginning.
Alex.
Well, obviously the biggest thing that stood out to me was the pitching. I was looking forward to that the most, but to dive away from that a bit, the second thing that I was looking forward to was the second base battle. And a big surprise for me was Isan being optioned to the minors, Jazz winning the second base battle. Another person that I was looking forward to watch was John Birdie. How does he play into that mix? I had a strong feeling that he was going to make the team, the opening day roster, but I did not expect Jazz to win the spot.
Not to be confused with me, by the way, everybody.
Good job,
okay. I did not win the battle at second base. I'm probably more like Jazz 8 Jazz. But anyways, a lot. Give me your take on what you're excited to see from this Marlins team.
Oh, excited to see anything, to be honest, man. This team, I've gone through the ups and downs, and this season, I mean, preseason looks really, really good, but opening day is the real tell, right? So regular season's where it counts.
Baseball's back, baby. That's it.
I know, and I mean, we're not as bad as the Rockies or the Pirates, but I mean, we're not Giants level either, or Reds. So I mean, I'm looking forward to see how this team can grow, because we've been just getting started, right, for like 5 years. So,
well, what I'm excited about, what I'm excited about is something that all of you pressed on. First of all, look, being just a fan of baseball in general, this town down here is full of so many people that grew up watching baseball, and for the town not to have a legitimate contender year in and year out is kind of tough, and that's why you see the bandwagonness of this. It's just the nature of Miami, right? However, this team I think is going to be real tough. Okay, and I think that's the word I want to use for the Miami Marlins this year is tough, right? Because they're going to battle every single night. What's the most impressive to me is that all their guys, everybody in their rotation is under the age of 25, right? It's 25 or younger. Mm-hmm. So not only do you have really good arms, but you have young arms that can take you through towards the end of the season, right? Sometimes you get these old veteran guys that you have to rest a lot more than maybe some of these starting guys. And I know starting pitching is completely different than what it was 5-10 years ago, when now everybody on pitch counts and it doesn't matter. It's more about quality starts, not necessarily wins and losses. And if you get 2 or 3 innings in, but now you've got this bullpen that can come in and throw you 3 to 5. And I mean, it's all over the place. However, when you have these young arms on the mound, you tend to be more confident with being able to leave them in there a little bit longer, and then, possibly to kind of get through and have a little more stamina. Whereas, some of the other guys that they've had in the past just haven't cut it. Obviously a guy that comes to mind for me though is a guy like Jordan Yamamoto, who, we all world talent, threw hard, but just didn't have the stuff, I guess. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that entire Christian Yelich trade was just
what a disaster.
Yeah, that was a complete disaster. It really was. And obviously high hopes for Yamamoto, but it is what it is. But I'm with you, Alex. I think it was interesting to see the battle at second base play out the way it did, with Isan going back down, and then it was really between at that point Jazz and I guess John Birdie. Obviously Jazz won out, which is it's good to see. It's a good sign. Yeah, it's a good sign, because at first you didn't know if he was going to be able to, and I still don't know if he's going to be able to hit well enough in the league. I mean, it's kind of trending that way, but I think it's important to kind of let it play. It's early, right? It's going to be the first game. We're going to see what happens with this team. It's going to be a young team. It's going to be a scrappy team. They're going to be tough, and I wouldn't put it past them to compete in this division. I know it's probably the best division in baseball, if you ask me, with the Braves and the Mets and the Phillies and all that. So I'm excited to see that. I guess the other question really is, and Christian, I know we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, and it's still the same thing now, is the battle between Jesus Aguilar and Garrett Cooper for, I guess, essentially will be the starting first base position. But these are the times where we wish there was a universal DH as well, huh?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Alex and I interviewed Jordan McPherson on our show last weekend, and we kind of asked him about this. Realistically, it seems like the Adam Duvall signing was because the Marlins anticipated a universal DH. And now the Marlins are in a situation where their 3 best hitters are fighting for 2 spots, which just doesn't feel like a great position to be in. You want to be able to hit your best guys. They can't right now. If there is no universal DH and it looks like it's trending the other way, I wouldn't be shocked if one of the 3 are dealt somewhere, especially if they're having a good year and the Marlins are having a bad year. So it's just not a great situation to be in. Garrett Cooper is going to be a once every other day player when he's clearly an everyday player. He proved it in spring training, and he proved it last year.
Yeah, what I think it could happen this year, especially against lefties, is that you get rid of Corey Dickerson, you put Duvall in left, you forget about defense, you put Garrett Cooper in right field and Jesus Aguilar at first base, and you know what? It's not the best defensive lineup, but this team really struggles to hit the ball, which is the hardest part of the game. So you have to try to put your best lineup. Like, let's say, I don't expect to see that tomorrow against Tyler Glasnow, but maybe on Friday against Ryan Yarbrough, who's a lefty. That way you can even put John Birdie back in the lineup as well. You mentioned it, Jazz. He did a good job last year, and I think he deserves a little bit of opportunities there as well. So that's a good thing about this Marlins roster. You do have options besides Luz Brinson, who looks like he's going to be on the team. Everybody else looks like can help the team somehow, and that's a good thing to have there.
Oh, the nod, Alex, the nod with Lewis Brinson. I'm with you on that one, dude.
Sweet baby Lou, man. Like, can this be the year that Sweet Lou finally transfers his spring training performance into the majors? No, I don't think so. I really don't. That's why they got Adam Duvall. That's why they, Garrett Cooper is still there and they didn't trade him for another pitcher or bullpen depth. I figured they were going to trade Cooper for that reason, but he stuck around because I think they're not completely sold on Lewis Brinson and Monte Harrison. And I think Magnus Sierra is on the team because he's out of options. But at the end of the day, like those three players alone haven't given you anything in the outfield offensively.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Yeah,
they're gonna be late defensive replacement. That's how they look like.
But
right.
So you're telling me that in the Christian Yelich trade, we got late defensive replacement? No, I know that. I'm just saying it sucks. It sucks looking at it now.
If you put them all three together,
you get me as a baseball player.
Yeah, I'm
you get me.
Not even. You get me. All right. 5 foot nothing.
Oh my God! It's look. I mean, I don't want to say that you're kind of hoping that one struggles, but you're kind of hoping that one struggles so you can kind of settle in to see who your guys are. It's tough. Well,
like here's the thing.
It's not a good position. It's a good problem to have, but it's not a good problem to have.
With JJ Bleday coming this year or next year, that's our time frame. And I mean, they can wait for Sierra or Harrison or Brinson or all these guys maybe this year. But then for next season, if Bleday's coming and he's hitting ball, he's going to be the starting outfielder there somewhere. Because if you look at what they're paying people this year, starting Marte is the highest paid in the team, $12 million. Corey Dickerson is the second one, 9.5, so he's going to play a lot. And after that, you don't have any outfielders there. So that tells you something. That those spots are to be taken next season, and I don't feel like Brinson or Harrison or Sierra are there. Like, they don't feel very sure in those positions. So it's going to be an open market, maybe more money, and the Marlins go and trend that way and bring other players that can play those positions. But that's a space that they can really get better there.
Well, they've had, so for as strong of a farm system that they've had, that's probably where they've lacked the most in development, right? Is at the outfield position, with the exception of maybe JJ Bleday now. Coming up, I think he's going to be a force soon in the bigs. But yeah, aside from that, man, I'm not impressed with Monte. I'm not impressed with definitely not impressed with Brinson. I hate to say it, but I mean, at some point, it's just like that's it, man. It's Cameron Maben all over again with Lewis Brinson. Right? Is that a good comparison?
Well, I think Maben was better.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe had a career. He's been around for what, like 15 years now. Has a World Series ring with the Astros, kind of. If you want to count that,
Kind of.
But I'm not sold those guys, and it sucks. And it sucks because you can see the athleticism with Brinson for sure. Right. But don't sit in Wrigley Field with a cigar in your mouth, smoking like you did everything on the team when you're hitting below the Mendoza line. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. No,
athlete for sure. Not a baseball player.
That's the thing, right? Look, we need more athletes on the soccer field. So Inter Miami. But anyways, I digress there. But listen, guys, tomorrow. I guess I kind of want to focus a little bit on tomorrow's game. It's Tampa Bay, right? 4:10 p.m. start time. It's Sandy on the mound against Tyler Glasnow. Am I correct on that as far as the matchup?
Yeah.
We all love Sandy. All the talent in the world. I want to see more consistency from this. I know I'm not going to see it game one. Game one is what it is, but opening day, you just want to see some baseball. That's really what I want to see. I think win, lose, or draw. There's no draws in baseball, but win, lose, or draw. You just want to see baseball.
Spring training, you can tie.
In spring training, yeah, you can. I mean, spring training.
And
if you're the Lewis Brinson of spring training, then you're doing well.
Right.
But again, what do you guys want to see? And Alana, I'll start off with you. I know we're all waiting to see baseball get back, but is there anything in particular you want to see game one that's kind of going to give you hope for the next 198 games that they play? That's what it seems like, anyways. What do they play? How many do they play this year? 150?
164.
Oh,
Or are they playing 162?
are they? They're playing the
Oh.
full season? Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Alana.
I mean, they're still a young team. I want to see us grow as this young team in China. I want to see chemistry. I want to see camaraderie. I want to see the guys get along, get together, because I know that there might be some, language barriers. There might be, just personalities that butt heads. But I need to see it all come together, because I'm telling you, when there's chemistry, camaraderie, just like with the Heat, man, like you see it, and it plays out on the field.
Fun. It's fun to watch. Now, here's the thing, right? Do they have the pieces in place? Because look, whether you want to, and by the way, Justin Cordero, that is the funniest thing. That is amazing. Put Lone Depot and Land Shark together, you get a Lone Shark Park. That's unbelievable. That is really that's smart, man. That's witty. Anyways, do they have the pieces to kind of build that chemistry, right? Because do they have the leadership qualities, right? You got some of your.
And they got Rojas.
They got Rojas and Alfaro, and Brian Anderson at this point is a veteran as well, who's been around for a while.
Yeah.
He's a quiet leader, though. I feel like he leads by the way he plays. He seems like a very quiet guy in the dugout, and not like doesn't show a lot of emotion. Rarely does he pump his fist or show any type of emotion, but he does lead by example the way he conducts himself on the field. So you need a little bit of both: someone who's animated, someone who's emotional, someone kind of like a BA as well.
Yeah.
Right, but then someone who also holds you down,
right.
It's got to put you in your place.
This is going to be a very important season for him too, because he hasn't signed that big contract yet. And Kim and G was asked about this, and she was like, "No, he has to show this season that he deserves that contract." So that would be one of the guys that we're going to be looking into this season, because he's a Marlins product, but we're not sure we're going to keep him or not. So this could be a season for him or for the team to actually decide if he's going to be the third baseman of the future, or we're going to go to the free agency and see what we can get there.
Yeah. Christian, you're nodding your head there on Brian Anderson on BA, man. Talk to me. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Man, he should have been extended a long time ago. I feel like I beat this to a dead horse about how it's just an enormous risk to not extend him. He has an amazing year this year. Say hits 300, hits 30 bombs. He's gone if he's not extended. And that's a risk that is going to be taken. And it may turn out not in the Marlins' favor. It doesn't even feel like a win-win, because if he stays, it's most likely because there wasn't a market for him, which means he didn't have a great year. So I don't.
Do you think he's underperformed a little bit, though?
Yes,
just all around.
Not underperformed anything he can control. I think last year was just in the shortened season. It was tough on a lot of the players for the Marlins. To only play 60 games, not be able to get into your normal routine, it affects you on the field, statistically, however you want to see it. I think he has been statistically growing each year, so we definitely are. There is definitely looking to be an uptick in performance. He had very similar numbers to Christian Yelich when Christian Yelich started, and he's had those numbers a little bit longer, but that doesn't take away the possibility for a 280 batting average and 25 homers, which is all year.
That's really good,
right?
Yeah. I'll take that from BA. Look, here's my thing, right? If you see him like at the All-Star break and he's got 12 to 15 bombs and he's got about 50 RBIs or 40 RBIs, and he's playing himself either into the All-Star game or very close to being an All-Star. Do you see the Marlins maybe trying to get that extension done before the season's over? Is that something that they can do?
It better happen.
Yeah.
It better happen at that point. Then you're just really.
Unless you suck, then they're going to trade him.
Yeah. That's another thing. I was going to say for the Aguilar, Cooper, Duvall situation, if the Marlins aren't good this season, you really hope one of them really overperforms, whether it be Aguilar, Cooper, or Duvall. And then you get even more pieces, and we can see them rebuild yet again.
Yes,
but I guess.
Yeah, but it wouldn't
getting started one more time, guys.
But it wouldn't be the
second time,
right? You're just taking one or two guys their contracts are expiring anyway, so might as well get something for them while you can. So that's something very interesting that we can look into. Even starting Marte. I mean, this is the last year of his contract. So if things don't go our way, that's another guy that we can look into. And you know what? Maybe get a couple of prospects here and there, and some people that can help us moving forward.
But like seriously, Alex, aren't we tired of having this conversation every
Yes,
single
we
time?
are, but
You know,
I mean, were you expecting to compete this season, 2021, right away?
No, I personally did not think that they were gonna, but my goal for the team was gonna be, let's see if this team can stick around 500, make it competitive, especially in this tough division. Let's scrap and claw with these other teams and see how we hold up against top teams in the National League. And what bothers me though, and it kind of goes back to what Alana was talking about, is creating a culture, creating like camaraderie, like a good feel with this team. And if they don't, if BA, and I'm going to throw in Sandy to this conversation as well, if those two players have a great season and BA has a great season and they don't extend him, they're doing the exact same thing that the previous ownership was doing and not giving an opportunity and giving extensions to their best players. And this is something that Derek Jeter was always talking about, is like creating a new culture, creating something new, kind of like what the Heat are doing in their culture. But if you're not extending players that are fan favorites and are actually talented, then you're not doing anything different.
Yeah, you make total sense. Well, I mean, we're going to be able to see what they're going to do, coming up. Obviously, starting tomorrow against the Tampa Bay Rays. 4 p.m. start time. Tomorrow's opening day gets going. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit, not all the way just yet, but talk a little bit about this division as a whole. And I mentioned a little bit earlier how I think this is probably the strongest division in all of baseball, with the Braves, who, by the way, people don't realize this, but the Braves were 9 outs away from the World Series last year. 9 outs away. I mean, props to the Dodgers, which obviously we'll get into, but props to the Dodgers for coming back and winning 3 in a row and getting to the World Series. I mean, it was their year. I think regardless, I think the Dodgers were the top team last year as well. So, but for me, it's important to realize that, I mean, as tough a team as the Marlins are going to be, you got to get by the kind of new look Mets with Lindor and
James McCann.
And James McCann. I mean, look, they've revamped their offense over there as well. Then you've got the Braves, who have gotten now Drew Smiley, right? They're going to get Soroka. Yeah, that guy. You got Charlie Morton. Yeah. They bring back Ronald Acuna, who some saying are might be the best player in the bigs this year as well. So I mean, look,
it's going to be destroying the Marlins as well.
Yeah, right. Well, we got one of them. We got Adam Duvall over, one of the Marlin killers, to play for us now. But yeah, but and then you've got the Phillies, right? You still got the Phillies with Zach Wheeler on the mound. You've got Bryce Harper, and the rest.
Realmuto.
And Real Muto, Didi Gregorius. I mean, that's a nice team as well. And I'm missing one. The Nationals, right?
Oh yeah, the
Nationals. Yeah, and the Nationals as well. Who I know they lost Rendon, but they're still
formidable. They won a World Series 2 years ago.
Josh Bell, Kyle Schwarber.
Carl Schwarber, Josh. Yeah. I mean, this is a tough division. Can the Marlins compete in this division? Whoever wants to take it, go ahead.
Well, I'll take it. Yes,
go ahead.
They can compete. I think they can compete with the Phillies. That's a given. We proved it last year. Phillies aren't amazing. They're a great hitting team. Pitching has always been their struggle, and it will probably continue to be their downfall. I think we can definitely compete with the Phillies, and I'm very excited. I'll get to live cover the Phillies Marlins games in Philadelphia, which is super exciting.
That's right. Hey, Austin Nola, Zach Wheeler, that's a tough 1-2 punch there, right?
I mean, it's tough, but like
our 2 punch is better, I think.
Our 1-2 punch is better. Also, the bullpen issues have always been a struggle for the Phillies. I think there was some kind of crazy stat with their bullpen last year. I forget what it was, but it wasn't great. The Mets, I think we're going to be able to compete with them. On days where DeGrom isn't pitching, I like it. I like our chances.
That is to say.
Any day that DeGrom is not pitching, I think the Marlins can win, even if it's Syndergaard or Carlos Carrasco. I do not think we can compete with the Braves. The Braves were 9 outs away from the World Series and added Charlie Morton, who I think is one of the more underrated starting pitchers in all of baseball, an elite ground ball pitcher who's been a part of some really, really good teams over the past few years. And then the Nationals. Everyone forgets about the Nationals. They won a World Series 2 years ago. When Scherzer and Strasburg are healthy, that team is elite.
And they might have the best player in baseball in Juan Soto also. That's
they have Juan Soto. Trey Turner doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Trey Turner,
Trey Turner, so underrated.
Phenomenal players, really good team. Added Josh Bell. I think, and Schwarber, right? I think the Nationals and Braves will be the top 2 teams in the division, and I think the Marlins definitely have a shot to be that 3rd team and maybe sneak into a wild card from there. But I think the Mets, the Phillies, and the Marlins will be the bottom 3, and the Braves and Nationals will be top 2.
Well, Alejandro, you mentioned this, right? Our 1-2 punch being stronger than the Phillies 1-2 punch. Overall, as a pitching staff, do we kind of stack up to maybe the Braves pitching rotation, or even the Nationals, even the Mets? I mean, how do we stack up from a pitching rotation perspective?
Yeah,
with
that's
them?
the thing. We might not have the names right now, because when people are looking at it, and I read an article from Castro Vince from MLB.com. He was talking about the 10 best rotations in baseball, and he didn't put the Marlins there, but he did put the Yankees and some other teams that I was not really I didn't agree with him. The thing is, they don't have the names, but when you look at Sandy Alcantara, I mean, he's an all-star. He represented the Marlins a couple of years ago, and he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the league. He looks like it right now, and I agree with Christian that money should come way before already. I mean, he should have been paid already, because he's going to be the ace from this rotation. Then you have Pablo Lopez. If he's healthy, he can perform as well. We saw him, especially his first 2 or 3 innings are just great. The damage comes after. He has to figure out a way to really limit the damage that comes in the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning and going ahead after that. If we have a Sixto Sanchez that can perform in a long season, we haven't seen that. I mean, we saw him for the last part of the season last year. It was a shortened season, so we don't really know what we can expect from him in a full year. But that's a 1, 2, 3 that you can compare to that one from the National that you were talking about, Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin. I mean, I will put those 2 rotations right there. And when you look at the Mets, they do have DeGrom, they do have Syndergaard, who should be a guy that should be pitching better than that he actually does. And Marcus Stroman would be the 3rd guy there. And when you compare Stroman to Sixto Sanchez, I mean, it's kind of even. That's why I think this Marlins team can compete, because they do have the pitching. And Christian mentioned it already. They have a better pitching than the Phillies. The Braves are kind of tricky because they're young as well, and they do have experience as well with Charlie Morton. So that, I mean, they're the favorites to win the division. But it's going to be a very even. It's bad for the Marlins that they got into. I mean, they're in the toughest division right now in this process, because it's going to be tougher for them as they rebuild. But I think it's going to be a very interesting season because of that, because they have pitching, and that's a key in baseball. We all know that.
Aguirre, you heard me mention earlier how excited I am actually about this young pitching rotation. Everybody 25 and younger, right? Which is really exciting. However, it could also be, the downfall as far as from an experience perspective, right? So, first of all, two-part question: how you feel about this rotation matching up against the others in the division, but then kind of get into also the lineup. From a lineup perspective, how strong are we? Not only top to bottom, the whole entire lineup. What do you see out of this team compared to all the others in the division?
Well, to address the first part of your question, everything that runs through this team is going to be pitching. Mm-hmm. And if you look how this the baseball season is structured, so it's 3-game or 4-game series. So pretty much in every series, the Marlins are going to go into with either Sandy, Sixto, and Pablo. Those are your top 3 guys. So you're giving yourself right there an opportunity to take a series, a 3-game series, or at least split a 4-game series. So I like the Marlins' favors going into that against any team, even Atlanta in the regular season. Just get the pitching will give the Marlins hitters, going into your second part of your question, the pitching will give the Marlins hitters an opportunity to stay in the game, because we all know that's the Marlins' weak spot, which is offense. So as strong as the pitching we hope it can be, as long as they keep it close, keep it at 3 to 4 runs around, very less per game, then you're giving the Marlins hitters an opportunity to strike and at least win the game.
Yeah. No, you bring up a good point. Alana, Don't know how much you follow the whole entire division because I don't follow most of them, but I mean I know a little bit about them.
I follow all of baseball.
It's hard. It's hard not to notice what some of the other teams are doing, and I think Christian mentioned this also, and everybody kind of talked about how the additions to this team, the Adam Duvall's and and getting Jazz starting at second base now, and all that is nice, but does it stack up, right? And it's 162 games wise. Does it stack up against some of the other moves that the other teams in this division have made, like your Lindors in New York and Schwarber and I forgot the other guy over in Josh Bell and those guys in Washington? Does it stack up on paper, right? Because we love to crown people as paper champions right off the bat. So on paper, you see this team from the Marlins, and then you see the teams like the Nationals and the Mets and the Braves, and you're like, okay, yeah, or we're kind of in trouble. Like, what do you think?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's season previews. It's like, are you good on paper or are you good on the field, right? So there's always that difference, and you see it. You say those names, and you're just like, look who we got. But I mean, it's all the performance out there. Okay, I haven't seen anything yet, so you need to prove yourself to me. Your name means nothing right now.
Yeah,
I have to see you play.
I agree. And here's the thing. Baseball, above any other sport in this entire world, is the streakiest sport in the world. Okay? Because the worst team can get on a run and win 5-10 games in a row. And I know it from past experience, right? Like experience-wise, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, or if not most of you guys here and girls, have played the sport, whether it's baseball or softball. Okay? And and I'll take it back to my high school days where my team was 16-10 going into the district playoffs. And we reeled off 7 in a row and won a state title. It happens, right?
You just get hot.
You just got to get hot at the right time in baseball. You get hot at the right time, you win the right ball games, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we've seen it before that not the best team in baseball wins a title, right? It's happened before. It doesn't happen often, but it happens more often than in other sports, right? Because in basketball, it is what it is. You're either the best or you're not. The Lakers were the best last year, and they won. Right? I mean, it is what it is. They were. I mean, when you have number 23, in the brow, it's kind of tough not to win. So, I mean, look, when you have the best team on paper, it doesn't say much to me either, because like I mentioned, injuries happen, guys underperform,
right.
Guys overperform. I think that it's too early to kind of tell what this division is going to be like, because there's been times where there's a team like the Braves that 9 outs away from the World Series, and then all of a sudden they crap the bed the next year. It happens all the time too. Okay, so I'm just excited to see baseball back. I'm excited to see the Marlins start to play. I think they got they have tremendo piquete, as we like to say in Spanish, and so it's gonna be exciting to. I don't know why they forced me to speak Spanish, these Marlins. Anyways. Getting over that and kind of transitioning over to not only the division but just Major League Baseball as a whole. We obviously know the talk of the town, the pretty girl in town, or the good looking guy, Alana. I gotta it is what it is. You got to be politically correct here. Are the LA Dodgers, right? It's the LA Dodgers and everybody else, right? It's now. Is there anybody out there that's going to challenge the Dodgers? I want to start off by saying, yeah, I think there is, because again, like I said, baseball's a streaky game, and anybody can get on a run and get hot and beat. For me, I gotta stay on this side of baseball and say that just based off of what the Padres did this offseason, I mean that's one hell of a team over there, man, in San Diego. Machado and Tatis and that pitching staff. I mean, that's tough. That's going to be tough to beat. Is there anybody out there that can challenge the Dodgers? Aguirre, start off with you.
Well, San Diego was one for me, but just to stick with the NL East, I'm going to stick with the Atlanta Braves. I know, just like the Dodgers, I know the Dodgers have a dream team of a starting 5 rotation. So no one, there's no better rotation, period, in baseball. But when it comes to both sides of the coin, offensively and defensively, the Braves are, in my opinion, are the most complete team other than the Dodgers. So I feel like they can give them a run for their money, just like they did last year.
Yeah. What about anybody in the AL? Let's put it that way, Christian. Anybody in the AL that can compete with the Dodgers?
I mean, I don't necessarily think anyone should compete with anyone statistically is on par with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are the best team in the world right now, and that is, it's going to level out over a 162 game season. They will have the best record in baseball. In the playoffs, anything's possible. So, I guess any team that makes it can get hot in a shortened time frame, which is definitely possible. From the AL, I predicted Dodgers, Yankees, and Dodgers in 6. So if any team, then I would say the Yankees, but I do think the Dodgers will be the first back-to-back since the Yankees back in the day.
Alejandro.
Yeah, late 90s, right? That was the last time a team could win 2 in a row. That's the thing. Going into the past couple of years, the last champions that we had, going to the Houston Astros in 2017, they looked like, okay, there's no way a team can beat this team right now. And they lost to the Red Sox, right? When we went to the Red Sox, we were like, okay, this team is just great. There's no way they're going to lose this crown. And they lost. And the Nationals won that championship. And now the Dodgers finally won after being one of the best teams in the last couple of years, or maybe the last decade, if you will. So I don't know, man. I feel like the Dodgers have a better team than last year, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for them to win. I mean, you were asking for teams. You have a very interesting team in the Chicago White Sox.
You took them out of my mouth. Yeah,
that's a team that it could be a little bit of a pain in the ass for the American League teams. The Yankees, if they figure out their rotation kind of thing,
they can stay healthy,
and they can stay healthy, and they can hit. That could be a dangerous team. And then you have
the best lineup in baseball, by the way. If healthy, that's right. I hate to say it, but the Yankees have
as much as we hate them.
As much as we hate them, yes. And if you look at it, you always have the Rays or the Athletics always making the playoffs, even though they don't have the best teams in baseball, right? And we saw how the Rays were in the World Series last year. And if Kevin Cash keeps Blake Snell, who knows if there's a Game 7 and something crazy happens. So I don't know. I feel like that's why I like this MLB league so much, because it's even though we know that there's like 4, 5, 6 teams are going to be there. It's among them that's going to be the champion. We don't know for sure who's going to win it. So I don't know. I think it's pretty even that way.
You know who I think is going to be a tricky team? It's going to be a very competitive team. Again, if one specific guy stays healthy, which he's proven that he can't stay healthy so far, but I really hope he does, because this, and I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani. He is so damn special, and they've got Rendon now. They've obviously have Mike Trout.
They don't have pitching though.
But this is what I'm saying. They don't have pitching. But who knows what the hell anybody has right now? Okay, I mean, this is I get it. But again, that guy Ohtani, I think is, and I hate to say this, but he's a game changer for me because of his versatility. I know that he's not gonna throw you 9 innings and hit for the cycle in the same game. I get it, but
well, you don't know.
I guess you never know. That would be amazing to see. By the way,
that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. In baseball, you kind of see something new every day. So, but that guy, to me, man, he can be one of the best players in the league if he stayed healthy. He is one of the most talented guys I've seen, and I love it because I see a guy that can get on the mound and bump it up to 94, 95, and then come and hit a 400-foot bomb. I mean, it's impressive. It's exciting to see. I'm not saying they're going to compete in the AL, but I think they're going to be exciting to watch, especially with Trout, and obviously Rendon is over there now too, and they've got some young talent that can play a little bit. So I don't know if I watch out for them, but I really like the White Sox. Although what's the kid Lewis Robert is the one that went down recently.
From the White Sox.
So he's going to be down a few months now with that torn pec muscle, right? So that's a blow to them, but they still got a great staff with Lance. Is it no Lynn,
Lance Lynn,
right? Lance Lynn, Giolito.
The Cuban White Sox, man.
Yeah,
the Cuban White Sox, for real though. They have like 10 guys from Cuba on that team, like half the roster. Yeah.
It's Abreu, Moncada. Did you see the bomb?
Grandal, they got Yasmani Grandal there as well.
It was Eloy Jimenez who was hurt on the White Sox.
Oh, Eloy Jimenez. Okay.
Yeah, Robert is fine.
Okay, good. So, I mean, I think this year is going to be exciting to watch because there's a lot of teams that are good, a lot of teams that are going to be competitive. And I know we keep talking about the Dodgers. It's kind of Dodgers or bust, but kind of can't count out the Houston Astros either. I hate to say it. I know that nobody wants to talk about them. It sucks, but it's hard to that's another lineup that's absolutely loaded. They're Yordan Alvarez, Bregman, Gurriel, Brantley, what's this kid? Correa, everybody, Altuve, the Springer. I know Springer's hurt right now, but Springer.
No, he's in Toronto.
Right, he's in Toronto. That's right. He's in Toronto now. But still, really good lineup, good pitching. Decent pitching. So that's another team that could possibly compete as well. I know that we're kind of coming up against it here, but any last words from you guys regarding not only the Marlins but Major League Baseball? By the way, the Red Sox are going to compete in the AL East. Okay.
Okay.
Do not come back to the next. Don't come back to the next show with that on, man. You gotta get yourself one of these.
All I gotta say is Bobby Dalbec, Rookie of the Year. Let's go.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw the Twins out there just because no one mentioned them.
The Twins. There you go.
I want to throw the Twins out there just because no one has mentioned them.
Nobody wants to ever mention the Twins, and every time.
The thing is, they make the playoffs. They haven't won a playoff game. I don't even remember since when. So it's
92, I think, when they won it, or 91.
Yeah, it's weird. They're a good team. They can hit the ball, but
they're
I don't know.
Solid team, guys. Solid team. All right.
They're like the Dallas Cowboys right now. They get into the playoffs, but they can't win one. Unbelievable.
It just sucks because they always run into the Yankees, especially in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. They would, in the first round, they would always run into the Yankees, and I get it. The Yankees didn't win the World Series and during that time period, but still, they were always a 100-win type of team, and the Twins just always had the bad luck, like the Oakland A's as well. Just running, and the Oakland A's would run into that late 90s, early 2000s Yankees team. That's even more dangerous. And so that's just, but I like that pick. The Twins is good. They got a good pitching staff, and they think they led I think they set the record for most home runs in a season by a team a couple years ago. Right. And pretty much all those guys are still there. So yeah, that's a pretty dangerous lineup. I totally forgot about that team.
The A's are going to be competitive. Matt Olson, Chapman. I mean, they're going to be a competitive team as well. So I don't know about their pitching staff. I don't know how strong their pitching staff is.
They always find guys. They always figure it out. They always figure it out
how to be competitive. So, I mean, and look, listen, I understand that we may not have the pitching staff. Okay, it's Eddie Rodriguez and everybody else. Okay, and I don't know if Chris Sale will ever play baseball again. It doesn't seem like he ever is going to play baseball again. I even forgot that he was on the team. I was like, wait, Chris Sale still plays for the Red Sox? This is unbelievable. I mean, you might as well bring back Dustin Pedroia while you're at it. I mean, why not, right? The lineup is not that bad. Okay, it's gonna be sneaky good. JD Martinez is still there. He's still gonna anchor it down. Xander Bogaerts is gonna be an MVP candidate this year. Okay, you can count on that. Oh yeah, don't give me that face, Alex. He's gonna be. You
can't win the MVP on a losing team except you're Giancarlo Stanton because he had to put up like the craziest numbers.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to be Giancarlo Stanton then.
Bogart's gonna be Giancarlo Stanton. Hot takes. I like it.
Baby. That's my hot take for the day, John.
Bogarts as MVP. I like it, man. I like it.
We'll hold you to that. See it 162.
It's bold, but I'm going with it. And I got to stick with my boys. What are you going to do?
I like it. I respect.
All right. Any last words? Alana, Alex, anybody else?
No, we're ready to get it going, man. Hey, we'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to be there at
oh, nice.
Lone Depot Park. I'm working on it.
I have to get used to saying that.
I'm going to be there at the stadium watching Marlins race, so follow us. We're probably going to do a live thing right after the game or something, so make sure you follow us. We're going to be doing these Marlins on Tap. It's not my show. It's not Jazz's show. It's not Christian's show. It's everybody's show here. So we're going to be rotating and doing all this fun stuff here. Entire year working on having you guys the information from the Marlins. So let's go ahead and have fun. Enjoy the season.
Alejandro, put that up again real quick. There you go. So we'll tweet it out later, folks. But tag at Biscayne. This is for your chance to win a 6-pack of Marlins Lager. Tag Biscayne Bay using the hashtag Marlins Lager on Twitter, and also put who your favorite Marlin of all time is. Thank you for joining us here today on Marlins on Tap. Christian Chase, Alejandro Villegas, Alex Aguirre, and Alana Alfonso. Jazz Santana. See you guys later. Happy opening day.